All right, everybody, welcome back to another show, the Wealth and Wellness Report. Today, I've got a couple of amazing entrepreneurs that have been like jonesing at interviewing. Steve Molof and John Moore with True North and Kitchen and Bath. Welcome, guys.
What's up? Morning.
Super excited to have you guys here because I've always admired your partnership over the years, and I thought I'd dig in a little bit right away on your business and your relationship and what makes you guys tick as a set of partners, man.
Well, it's about time that we got John on one of these things because we chat all the time.
Yep.
Someone has to do all the work in the company. Right? That's the problem, right? He's sitting here chilling out, getting his nails done, and like, you know.
That sums up our relationship, right? That's kind of speaks back to our culture, right? Is that we celebrate success, we celebrate our partnership, you know, because of being partners. We've known each other now
16 years.
16-ish years.
Been long as well, man. Been long.
Yeah.
Like, whew.
So tell me about it. Like, what's the genesis story?
2008, I think.
Yeah. Somewhere in that zone.
I want to say it was like September 2008. Met up in San Francisco. I was a punk. He was a punk. It's the easiest way to put that, right? I got started in a company called System Pavers, and super cool company, right? Yeah. I'd left the British military and done some work in Europe, but when I started with System Pavers, it was super cool because I mean, I'll go through it if I may real fast.
Yeah, please.
I met interviewed with a guy called Bob Quadra, ex-US Army Ranger, badass, right? So right up my alley because he's just like full on hoorah, Master Chief Army guy. So I was like, yes.
He's fresh off the boat and he finds this guy right out the gates.
Yeah, like straight up. So because I was in London and I answered a Craigslist ad to go work for him. I was just like, let's just go to America. Why not, right? Why can't I? I've traveled everywhere else in the world.
Here in the Bay Area,
yeah. So obviously ended up with, I flew in and I landed at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock in the morning or something. I forget, it was an overnight flight, you know what I mean? And I just literally, I got showered and changed in the airport, put a suit on and came down for the interview in Union City.
Wow.
And
did you get the job on the spot?
Yeah. Which wasn't meant to happen, right? So, but yeah, anywho, right?
He can talk his way into anything.
No, absolutely not. No,
amazing.
Never in a million years. You just crack on with people.
Have you ever sold pavers before? Or?
No, dude. No, I was running around Iraq. Like,
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's a big difference.
Oh, yeah, it was a huge difference. I had no clue what I was doing. But met Bob, then I met, and so he became like lifelong guy. Like, he's like a dad to me now. I mean, like, this guy's like full of knowledge, you know, and just like has
mentor.
Yes, huge mentor, huge mentor. Yeah. And then I met Lane the same day.
Lane's
now the chief strategy officer for System Pavers. So he began as the branch manager, then he's just accelerated. Yeah. So Lane, again, is like a dad to me, right? Because, and this is part of the reason why we do well as a company, just to be fair. Like, literally, we have two badass mentors who are like, yo, steer left, steer right,
huge.
You know,
That's huge.
Like, yeah. And Bob taught me that, and I suppose I'll throw this down as the first nugget of the day, is whenever you want to do something in life, you need to have a sponsor, someone who sees the potential in you and puts their reputation on the line to have you do it. And then you need to have a mentor. Right. So you always need a sponsor and you always need a mentor in any position that you're going to go excel at. All right. And the mentor doesn't have to be alive. Like, it can be someone in a book. It can be someone that's passed away. Right. You don't have to have like me and you. Like, you would mentor me in the ways that you do things. I would love that. Right. I'm like, eyes down. Okay. Pay attention. But obviously my dad's passed away, but he left me lots of lessons. So there's mentorship and lessons in that. Right. Same with my mum. Right. So the best way to move forwards is that whenever you have adversity, like, run to it. And when you run to adversity, what you end up doing is you hit the challenge head on. Yeah. And then you have to respond to it. If you don't respond to the challenge and you sit in this gray procrastination area, right? Yeah. And so, you know, I came to the challenge of, okay, I'm going to move to the United States, right? And I just got a job. And I turned around to Bob and I was like, so what do I do now? Right? And that's where the mentorship and the sponsorship came in, you know, and we got all of the legal team on, you know, I got visas, all of that sort of jazz, right? That took time. But in that time was, well, don't sit in the procrastination phase, go learn everything, start like picking your knowledge up. Yeah. Right.
So the magic's in the work that you're avoiding or you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that headwind is important. We talked about the headwind before.
Headwinds make you stronger. I mean, you have to push through them.
Yep.
But that's the only way an airplane takes off.
Yep.
flaps down, headwind, lift.
Yep.
That's the only way to do it. If you don't have adversity, then you don't take off. All right. And if you want to take off and soar, then you have to push through adversity, soar, and then you see a whole new horizon. Like today, right? I love today. Be straight. This morning I got up, it was 6 a.m. So nothing spectacular. I'm not a 4 a.m. guy.
Yeah.
Granted, I might go to bed at 2 a.m. because I'm on the phone with this lunatic, but never mind. But up at 6 a.m., right? And doing all my stuff, and it's cloudy, clouds are rolling in, and then it's sunny, clouds are rolling in. And then I took the girls to school, and so it's like 8:45 roughly this morning. I get into my first meeting, or I'm getting ready for my first meeting at 9 a.m. At 9:50 this morning, I'm getting ready to come here, right? And all of a sudden, the heavens opened. And I was like, oh, check
So
this
cool.
out,
So
right?
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. So I was just like, and I saw the sun on the left-hand side out of my window, and I could see the rain coming in sideways. I was like, oh, there's got to be a rainbow out here.
Yeah.
There has to be.
Yeah.
And so...
Was there one?
Unfortunately, there wasn't, but it was pretty cool, right?
Cool.
So what happens is I go outside, and the rain's coming in sideways, the sun's there, and I'm like, oh, I must have just missed it by a matter of like minutes. Now, I loved it because I got soaking wet outside. It was Mother Nature just refreshing your soul for a hot minute, and it was great, right? So I'm all about the earthly style stuff as well. But then I get in the car and I come across the San Mateo Bridge, and to my left, and I couldn't snap a photo of it, but to my left is all of the rain clouds and everything that's going on with a rainbow on the side of the rain clouds. And to the
Nice.
right, as I'm seeing your guys and coming in, it's all beautiful sunshine. So it's all about perspective. It's all about, if you want to see a new horizon, you have got to lift above, or you have to push through the storm. It's that simple.
So you're at Paver, System
Yeah.
Pavers, and then from there
I met this clown.
that's where you guys met.
Yeah, we worked together. Yeah, so.
We worked together, but it didn't start off that way. I mean, I was in market research, driving a desk, and I saw the future of where, those promotions were going. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be my boss. I would like to work for somebody who that's a position I want. The person that's above me, I want to be in a place where I want that. So then I can go above and step up. Like at this point, I'm unemployable. I have to.
Yeah.
Like John and I were really good at that in that adversity piece. And it reminds me of a story I was told in college. I played baseball and they would bring in speakers. And this was in 2003 or 2004, right after, maybe a year after, I forget exactly when, there was a big tsunami in Thailand. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It was a crazy, tragic nightmare for them for quite a while. I mean, a lot of people didn't make it. And there was a ship captain, a boat, like a charter boat, fisherman. They brought him in and he spoke to us. He was there in the water that day. Wow. And he told us a story about how he saw the water receding from the beach. And all these people started racing their boats toward the beach.
Oh, no.
Right? And he was an experienced guy, apparently, and he just had the nuts to know. He turns his boat straight toward the ocean, sees the big-ass wave coming at him and floors it. Barely makes it over. So we had this saying from then on out in college, and it's still with me today, which was attack the tsunami. It's just like an internal thing.
That is a hell of a phrase. Attack the tsunami.
Right?
It's a good one, right? But it works.
Yeah.
Well, it's a weird one.
Yep.
And it connects with me. So we used to have to run, we were talking about this before the show, have to run up Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And from campus to Twin Peaks and back, we had 25 minutes. And it took us about 25 minutes to get to the top and about 5 minutes to get back. Because it's like this running there. We had to do that every Tuesday. And we would just yell to each other, attack the tsunami. Some people didn't make it. If you didn't make it in 25 minutes, you had to do it again.
Yes, love that.
Right? So we had all sorts of stuff like that.
So were you driving a desk? What were you doing while he was at System Pavers?
Yeah, I mean,
and how did you guys meet?
I was slinging data on a computer all day, typing away, sending emails, doing nothing but that. We ended up meeting.
We met at a bar called the Rocket Room.
We met at a bar called the Rocket Room. John was a bartender there. He was charged with getting Monday happy hours off the ground. It was dead. John comes in.
Yeah.
So here's what happened, right? So the Monday happy hour thing, right? So short version on this is I go to the bar, say, hey, I'd like a job, because I was bored silly. I was waiting, and I was like, oh my God, because it was 2008, right? And obviously all of this stock market crisis has happened. So I'd got the job with System Payers. They're like, hey, we love you. Just kidding. You got to wait because we're not hiring. We've got a hiring freeze on.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, of course you do. Because they had like I'm going to say like a 40% cancellation rate on appointment flow.
Oh, wow.
So there's just no appointments.
Nobody's spending money.
Yeah, no one's spending money. Everyone's having a meltdown, right? So I was like, all right, I need to figure something out in the sense of just do something, because there's only so long you can play a guitar on the beach. There's only so many times you can visit everywhere in the bay and do stuff, right? So it ends up I meet this lunatic in the bar, but I met him because I went onto the campus at USF, and I got in a little bit of trouble for this one because I didn't know the rules.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
He's an enterprising little shit, this guy.
So I went to Kinko's. So they gave me Mondays, but Mondays were closed.
At the bar.
At the bar.
Got it.
So they said, you can start on Mondays.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And they were like, by the way, we're closed on Mondays. So I laughed. And I was just like, well, now you're open. Good. And they were like, yeah, so just make it happen. And I was like, what do you normally do? It's like, oh, we do football nights, and Monday football is normally okay. So the first week we did Monday football, there was like 3 people in the bar. I was like, oh my God, this is lunatic status. So I was like, well, look, this is a live venue, so let's put live music here. So I went to USF. I'm not joking. I printed off like 10,000 flyers.
Cool.
And what I did was I went leaflet dropping the whole day. So
He's just smashing the college campus. And
not only the college campus, right? So here's what happened. So I went into the car park. I started there, and it's like a multi-story car park.
Oh, it just dropped every car.
Every single car got a letter, got a notice on the windshield.
Amazing.
And the notice was quite simple. Like it was Acoustic Mondays. And it was like basically bring your friends, like, and I'd put some
Buy one, get one free
it was
drink
like,
or something like that.
It was
There was a
better
hook.
than that.
There's a hook.
There was a massive hook, and I shouldn't say it on camera, but never mind. Right, so nah, I'm gonna trouble for that one. So you walk in, you get free drinks and all that sort of stuff. Let's put it that way, right? I think it was like the first 50 people got a free drink and all that sort of thing. Like,
cool. Yeah.
So it just brought people in like super quick.
Amazing.
But also, I was for sure, right? But then
So you picked up one of his flyers.
I was friends with somebody who did, and they're like, we're going to Rocker.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like, what's that? He's like, I don't know, we're going on Monday. Sweet, let's go, check it out.
That's pretty cool.
But so what I did was I'd said on the flyer that if you want to be an up and coming artist, then contact me so I can put you on the guest list so you can then play. But it's only acoustic. So you play real. You don't get all of the drums and the bass and everything else. You don't get to have the, all of the equalizers and all the rest of it. You sing properly, you play properly, and you wow and charm and dazzle the crowd. So that was the gig. Because why? That stopped me having to do any setup. That straight up, right? Everything was like, how can I make this easier?
Yeah, right.
And I knew nothing about sound
Diego plays in a
I
rock
know,
band.
yeah, right?
Yeah, we have a show on Friday, actually. You should come.
Sweet.
The
I'm in
Lariat-
Oceanside doing Iron Man, but yeah, we'll do
Awesome.
that.
Yeah, the Lariat
it's got
Tavern
that right.
on Friday at
Nice.
7 o'clock. Yeah.
Abbey Tavern, did you say?
The Lariat.
Oh, the Lariat.
In Belmont. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, that's very entrepreneurial.
Well, yeah, so what happened was at that stage, I was kind of shocked because there was like 500 people that turned up to the bar.
Amazing.
Like,
It blew up.
yeah, it
big.
blew up, dude. So
you got busy real quick.
yeah, like super quick. So I now needed a bartender. So what I created was a learn how to be a bartender program. I knew nothing about bartending, straight up, right? I knew nothing, but I said, listen, I need a bar back and I need a bartender. So I started talking to everyone. I was like, hey, if you want to be a bartender, I will show you how to do what I do. And I know nothing about bartending. I'm just gonna be real.
But you know how to talk to people, so that's huge.
He's a talking head. Communication is big.
Yeah, I know how to make enough cocktails. Like I got 5 drinks that I absolutely love. I got 25 drinks that are memorized.
Yep.
I know enough, right? But I'm not. My buddy Kanoa, he knows how to bartend, right?
Cool.
That's just reality. And he was like,
He's a part owner of the place now, right?
Yeah, he is a part owner now. Yeah, he's an entrepreneurial turd as well.
Yeah.
So it ends up that obviously Steve comes in, the bands come in. We had Jar Electric, we had Big Lion, we had all sorts of different guys. And some of these guys went on to play at the Fillmore and all sorts of cool stuff because I got to know Michael and Amy Bailey from the Fillmore. And it was just cool to have this transitional doorway of like, hey, you've done great. You're a USF band. Come on in, go play at the big stuff. Like, I'm useless to you now. Go play at the big time. Yeah, and they did great. Soft White 60s, those guys came in, and I mean, if you look them up right now, they're a great band as well. Like, I've got so much time for those boys.
Yeah.
But they came in, they played, and we just promoted all of that. But what that meant is they brought their friends in. That meant that the bar became busy. So now all of a sudden, the owners of the bar are like, "Hey, how'd you do this?" I was like, "Listen, man, I was like, I don't have any excuses and reasons. I love meeting people. I love doing cool work. I love
and you took action.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
the
everything.
piece. Yeah,
you took action.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I just recently was thinking about this. There's action, and there's distraction, right? You can be distracted in your life with everything. YouTube, you can be distracted with Netflix, you can be distracted with anything you want to be distracted with, or you can focus and take action. And you don't have to take overwhelming, massive action that's like so big that, wow, it packs a punch. You just take dedicated daily action, right? How do you eat an elephant? With one bite at a time, right? We know all of these phrases.
Well, there's one that I learned from you, which was what does focus mean, right? And I teach this to my son every damn day. Liam, focus. Follow one course until successful.
Yeah.
Right. Amazing. So he learned that when he was, I think, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That was a big piece.
So your younger years, probably fun, parties, meeting people, a lot of socializing.
Well, that's what happened when John, we became roommates because we had common friends.
You moved in together.
We moved in together.
Amazing.
And I was with my wife, Jess.
I know. Sorry.
Exactly. So John had a room. Well, it was more like the couch. Because he would be working late every night, but he would come home with just like energy, and he was driving around. His office was different every day. He was seeing people out in the world, and here's me taking the 38 express bus down to the financial district every day with my BlackBerry and Financial Times over here, and blah blah blah.
What about the dude at the front of the bus? I forget his name, but he's the guy that always peed himself on the bus. He's my favorite.
Yep, the 38 at night is an entertaining place to be.
I always wanted to write a book on the 38 and the 38 Limited, always, and I might still do it, right?
It's the Geary bus line.
Yeah, the Geary bus line. Oh, dude, it's so cool.
It's flavorful.
So cool.
It's a
if you ever want an experience, get on the 38 from downtown and just go all the way out to the avenues.
Time frame, like 11 at night.
Dude.
Pretty much any time after 11 p.m. It turned into Twilight Zone.
I think if you take like 3 different bus rides, you'll be entertained. One on a Saturday morning, because you got to see everyone on a Saturday morning, like 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, get from the avenues down, or vice versa.
It's better than a vaccine too, because you get all your, what do they call it?
Immunity. You get all your immunity in one hit.
Immunities that you need.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so he's having fun, right? And I'm like, dude, you're coming home from System Papers, selling things out there in the world, and I'm like, I got to see what. How do I get in with that?
Did you wear a suit?
No. So
for System?
No. Same
just
gig.
Polo.
Right?
Yeah.
Polo. But I always wore trousers.
No. Well, for my gig, I had to wear tucked in collars.
Like you're in the financial district. I'd imagine you're white collar, got a suit on.
Yeah, it was that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And they had offices all over the world. I got to travel and things, and I thought that was glamorous, especially out of college. I'm like, sweet.
What drew you to wanting to work with John?
He's having fun, making money, not sitting behind a desk. It was like 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I would like to focus on something that makes me feel better, makes me want to get up every day. Because I like to communicate. I like to close deals, build relationships, solve problems. And I don't want to do it from behind a desk all day. And so he's doing that. I'm like, let me get an interview with those guys. Right. And so then,
did you get a job like on day 1 too?
No, this is a funny piece, right? So he comes to me because now I'm a sales manager, right? It's like 6 months on.
Yeah, he's running his own sales team at this point.
Yeah. So I started so January 2009 was when I went on my first lead, and I'll never forget it, dude. Like, I was horrible, like really bad.
He wasn't as good as I was.
No, he's going to rag on me for this. I hate that this is going to be on camera now. I hate you. Forever. Yo, I still won at racing, go-kart racing. Suck it up. All right.
January 28th, 2010, $35,000 deal, Joseph Bush, 1 for 1. My first appointment, sold it, crushed it. How long did it take you?
A month. But who trained you? Who trained him? Huh?
I trained myself.
Get out of town.
I'm just kidding.
Get out of town. So short version on that is I started in January of 2009, and I did not know anything. I was horrible. I came out of training. Sure, I did okay, but I was canvassing like a maniac. I must have knocked on like 1,000 doors, and I'm using a ballpark number because it could have been like 200 more.
Well, they didn't have a lot of leads to give, so you got to go get your own, and that's
a great training ground, though. You know?
No, it was good. It was good, but the amount of people that said no to me, I actually, honestly, I turned around. I was like, oh man, I have not sold anything in like 3 weeks. I was like, oh, am I going to make this?
It's commission only, so if you don't,
1,000 no's, and you kept going.
Oh, well, you have to. Like, what was I going to do? Go back to England?
Well, a lot of people will probably like fold and say, I'm done. This is it.
A lot of people,
you know what I mean?
A lot of people do that. We see that.
This is too much. Like too many no's. You know,
it's tough when it's commission only too. So there's not a steady paycheck.
You gotta kill what you eat.
Exactly. You have to kill what you want to eat.
Yeah.
Or you don't eat. And so he's 3 weeks in, nothing happening.
Yeah. But you stuck in.
No, for sure. Right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
This
And the reason why I
quit.
stuck in is this. I don't mean that in a check me out way at all. Just, I don't know how to quit. Right.
That's great. Because this is what our audience loves to hear is like, you know, the stories of victory and triumph. Sure. You know, the challenge, and then you persevere.
Everyone loves the victory and the triumph piece, but you have to go through the shit to get there.
Yep.
If you don't have shit, there's no victory.
Exactly.
If you don't, like it's a heartbeat, right? A heartbeat goes up to a high point and it goes to a low point. And then you have a heart rate that goes up and down, up and down, up and down. life is not just one steady flat line. If it is, and you're dead. Like that's the reality. And I know like people can watch this and see this all over the world. It's the same stuff. But look, that's what I've listened to and learned, and I just internalized. I just internalized it ever since I was 16 when I joined the freaking army. Right? 16 and 9 months, I joined the army. So I got the crap beaten out of me since I was 17 years old. So all I know is to live in a trench, get the shit beaten out of me, know that it's a shit life. And then you come to America, you're like, oh, this is the holy grail of happiness. Like even the shittest day in America is heaven compared to sitting in a trench with someone gas attacking your ass and saying, go, go, go. And then you go run 20 miles with all your shit on, sweating, coughing, and the guy next to you's throwing up in his gas mask. Ta-da, right? So I got up this morning, I had a real shit day. Why? No, absolutely not. I don't care what your day looks like, feels like, how it is. It's bullshit if you think it's shit. It's what you focus on, right?
It's all perspective.
That's the fucking gig. You could wake up and think you're having hell on earth. Well, congratulations. Go look in the mirror, put some cold water on your face because that's the best thing for you. Pull your shit together and let's fucking go, right? Like that's how I'm wired. Do we fail? Yes. Like, do we have tough days? Yes. But if you sit in a pity party on a goddamn tough day, then fuck, you should give yourself a 10-minute window. You're allowed to have a party. You absolutely are. But you're only allowed 10 minutes. So make it the best fucking party for 10 minutes.
So the two of you probably learned a tremendous amount from each other because you're
this guy's
very different, but very, very much the same
so his
in a lot of ways.
Stuff was like,
we're both very competitive. I mean, he went through the army. I went through baseball I played it for 30 years of my life. And my moment of turning point when I was younger, which led us to all the things we've done since. I broke my back in high school, like fractured a vertebrae, couldn't move. And I was pitching through it. I don't know how, but there came a day where like, I can't move anymore. Like I need to stop. I need to say no for just a minute, let this heal, get x-rays, do all the things. But the rehab of that process, because I love competing so much. I love throwing a baseball and striking people out and being a part of a team. We used to have this 9-on-1 mentality where there's nine players on the defense against one batter. So it was like this team all looking downfield together. I loved that feeling. So I love building teams, looking downfield together with one common goal. But that turning point after I broke my back, I ended up becoming captain of the team. And I think we were 4th in the nation. And out of 24 players on that team, 23 of them played in Division I baseball, and half of those guys played in the majors. So, or in some form of professional.
Highly competitive environment. The coach on that team, Coach Savage, he still texts me every Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Can I just say, I love that name, Coach Savage. He's my guy already. I don't even know him, but I fucking love that guy.
Yes, that's his real name.
Pete Savage and his brother John. They have the oldest running plumbing company in Nevada, Savage and Son Plumbing.
Getting a new dog, I'm calling it Savage.
Unbelievable. He would throw bats at it. He can't do what we went through back then. I mean, like, I got a concussion mid-practice, and he goes, Molof, you okay?
Shake it off.
I was knocked out, and he's yelling at me. I was in left field. After I come to, I just put my thumb up and he goes, good, get back in there. I was bleeding. I couldn't see straight. I was dizzy for like weeks after that.
Yeah.
But he was savage. And his brother is the head coach at UCLA now. Coached a lot of guys. So he had a great system. He built systems. That's where I learned the power of building a system, whether it's with your health, your fitness, your company, whatever it might be. We had consistent actions taken, consistent expectations that were inspected daily. You weren't allowed to have facial hair. Like, okay, you wanted to run it like the Yankees. I got my ass chewed a lot.
Yeah.
Is it that bum fluff on your face?
Yeah,
No, it's that bum fluff.
You haven't shaved in probably 4 weeks.
Well, it's almost, yeah. I wound the window down and half of it fell off on the bridge on the way over. I was like,
So we had this rule, right, where if you were 15 minutes early to practice, you were on time. So if you're 10 minutes early to practice, you're 5 minutes late. So and so forth.
If you're completely late, why show up?
So it's one lap on the track for every minute. You're not 15 minutes.
Honestly, if you're late and you don't show up, your ass is grass and I'm a lawnmower.
Yes.
Stand by. Like you stay extra 30 minutes afterwards.
Yeah, like if practice was at 3 and you showed up at 3:10, you were 25 minutes late. That meant 25 laps.
Yeah, good.
Right? And so that's how it went. And then you would start practice, you would jump in wherever. And so that discipline of being punctual, that discipline of having accountability exist.
Yeah.
I learned a lot through that experience and on through college, and then eventually meet this guy right after college.
Can I just say real quick, like you said about being late, like why show up? It's better to be late and show up and stay late and actually work on it than it is to think, I'm late, I can't do it. like, see you later.
There are a lot of kids that did that.
No, that's not the mentality. The mentality is, you know what? I fucked up. Yeah. It's okay. I'm not at the starting line when I'm meant to be. That's okay. I'm where I'm at. Like, this guy taught me, like, be where your feet are at. Be present in the moment of where you're at, right? He's good at this stuff. I got to give him his due, because I'm Mr. like,
he's crackhead, and I'm like the Zen master.
Like, I'm nicknamed the Flash in the company, and he's Superman, right? And we always say, well, who's faster, Superman or the Flash? And I'm like, the Flash is faster always, right? You know, but not true. Bullshit. I got a photo proving it, right? But these, as I say, he's like the Zen master on it, right? He grounds me. That's why we've got a good relationship, because he grounds me and keeps me in the zone. But, like, truth be told, as I say, the systems, like, to go back to that, are huge. Yeah. And one of the systems is, it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter if you're in hell, you're failing, you haven't gotten to the start line. One of the biggest challenges of Race Across America, which we can talk about later if you want, is getting to the start line. There are so many people that sign up for RAM, but they don't make it to the start line. That's the hardest piece of the race. Yeah. Everything else is easy, right? I mean, Ryan, this guy was on RAM with me, like, holy crap, it's hard when you're on it, but it's not as hard as getting to it. But again, we can talk about
that's a 3,000 mile race that you have to do in 12 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's 20 plus hours a day of cycling.
So the stories of perseverance and, you know, mindset are clearly there. When did you guys actually start dreaming up a company? Because now you're business partners. You were roommates, you were friends, now you're in business.
So this is the thing, right? So when we come back to this guy's, like, got a memory like a freaking elephant, and it kills me because I forget stuff, like, you know, so fast.
I don't think so.
There was a moment where I was sat on the couch and we were in the house together, right? And again, systems and system pavers, I can't say enough thank you to them, right?
This must have been 2008 or 9.
2009, right? So 2009, I'm sitting on the couch and I got a bucket of chicken, right? And a glass of wine. It was
a glass of wine, a bucket of KFC, and a laptop, and he was passed out, fully balanced.
Right?
It was like 2:30 in the morning.
I should have worn my balanced t-shirt today. It's such a good one. I love that t-shirt.
Yeah,
right?
he was just so diligent about managing that sales team. He never stopped.
But that's the thing, right? So it's those systems which I think sparked an interest in Steve, because the system was real simple. You don't go to bed until, number one, your sales team are tucked up and in bed. You don't go to bed until all your work is done. And that's how I was raised in the British Army, right? Is you're a corporal on the ground. So that's what I was, right? I'm running around doing all of the cool stuff, grenades, bombs, all sorts of fun things. It was freaking fabulous, right? My buddy Brian Wood is a freaking maniac and
He just finished something cool.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He just finished 500 kilometers in the Arctic Circle with 2 other badass guys. Again, we got days to talk about that. We should bring him on here, actually. It'd be fun. And so...
he just wrapped up with Jocko not long ago.
Yeah, Jocko Willink and that sort of stuff. Cool. Yeah, that was cool. It was good fun.
Yeah.
But it's the people that are around you which set the stage for you, right? So if you're struggling in work, if you're struggling in a relationship, if you're struggling in personal life, whatever it is, surround yourself with people that have an elevated status in what they've done from an experience, not from who they are and riches and all of that crap. Don't care, right? But if someone has walked your path, go hang out with them. If someone has got the experience to help lift you out of the situation you're in, go talk to them, all right? And even if you talk to 10 of them, then you're going to get such more of a worldly view and say, oh, this is the direction I need to go. And then once you have your direction, you follow it. And I was lucky enough to find my direction in System Pavers, right? Bob was my sponsor and my mentor. Lane was my mentor as well. And Larry Green, who owned the company, and Doug Luke, who was the owner as well. Super awesome dudes. Like I literally turned around. I said thank you to Larry, I don't know how many times, because I had an attitude of gratitude. And the thank you was, Larry's a South African guy, right? He knows what it means to be an immigrant, to come to the country and to start from zero. Like, that's where I began. And
Lane as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Lane. I mean, Lane came from Nottingham, basically, in England, right? Yeah. So, when I spoke to Lane in the interview, he said, so what's your plans? What's your goals? And I said to him, well, your chair looks pretty comfy, so I wouldn't mind that, right? Yeah. And he laughed, and then, stepped out of the office, and Bob was like, you're great, you get the job. I was like, okay, sweet, right? But then, as I say, we fast forwards, and now the chair that I'm in is me sitting with a bucket of KFC, getting the systems done. Never miss the system. Stay on the system, it's good for you. And so then this guy comes to me, he's like, I want to work on the team. And again, to backtrack slightly, I told him no at first. I was like, you're way too analytical. This is not going to work for you. Because, I mean, look, you have to be a people person. You have to be excited. And I'll be straight. Yeah. At that time, this guy was capped in numbers. Like he could crunch numbers.
I had just got done crunching numbers for years for this market research company. And now I'm like, holy shit, I have to have my personality. Like to find that, show that, display that. Your ability to connect, right?
Skills,
my dad taught me as a young age, if you can master one tool in life, master the art of communication, and you will be just fine.
Yeah.
And so this job where I see him communicating all the time, having fun, making money, I'm like,
I want to do that.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so we did.
Yeah. So he comes into the company, and honestly, he's a great student, right? And I don't say that to kiss his ass. Just the guy's intelligent. He's got a degree, knows what he's doing. I left school at 16, so I have like quite a lot of qualifications. And
I'm good at taking tests. That doesn't mean I'm smart.
No, there you go. There you go.
The University of Life.
Yeah.
Majoring in direct experience.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I like it. I definitely got that one as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
So for a few years, I was on a sales team, did well. I was one of the top guys on his team.
Mm-hmm. But the annoying thing is he came out and he sold his first deal. And I was pissed.
Nobody does that. Not many people do that.
Yeah,
it's rare it happens.
First day you sold a deal?
Yeah.
My first lead, my first appointment I ever was given.
Oh, phenomenal. That probably made you feel great.
It was amazing. And I had no idea what I was doing. I got a little bit lucky. There's no doubt, but I was there for like 4 or 5 hours trying to figure out how to price stuff.
Was it a Jewish gentleman that was there? Was that
no, it wasn't.
No, it was a different one. Okay,
it was a different one, but I sold every one of those. Because I'd pull out my Star David necklace.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, you too? Like, yeah. Because your vibe attacks your tribe, right? And so...
Say that again. Your vibe attacks your tribe.
Your vibe attracts your tribe.
Attracts,
yeah. Right? And so he had a good vibe, so I was attracted to that. The bar was fun. The job was awesome. And then after a few years, I'm like, I can do this myself. Like,
so that's like the course of 5 years going through like living together.
Yeah, 5, 6 years.
We know each other for about 5, 6 years at that point.
And finally working together at System and then...
And then this lunatic, so I went to the East Coast to go work over there, family stuff, all that sort of thing. And then this guy...
I started my own little thing, doing pavers.
Yeah.
Opened up a branch office, did that for 5 years. And he's in the East Coast. Now he's in the bathroom business.
That's when we met. Is when you were doing modern paving.
Yeah, I was working with modern
paving. That was
paving.
like in 2014 or something.
Somewhere around 2014-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole story.
Yeah,
totally. And you were out in the East Coast.
Yeah, so that's a whole story too. So it's a fun one. But it ends up like the family. We went over there for family stuff. Didn't quite work out. Is what it is. Couple of kids, all that sort of stuff. So came back. That's the short version on it, right?
Yeah.
But with that, it was in the coming back process. I'd done really well with the manufacturers over on the East Coast, and they were like, "Hey, who do we?"
This is in the bathroom space now.
I was in the bathroom space.
He'd opened up a bathroom remodeling company,
but still in home improvement.
Yeah, home improvements. Yeah. And so I was just like, "Hey, Steve, we've got an opportunity to start something over here." Like
he was looking to move back to the West Coast where it's sunny, people are friendlier.
Dude, 3 years of snow broke me.
Yeah, New England in the winter is
snow and ice is not as nice as
it's not for everybody, and I'm out here, having a great time doing my thing, doing pavers, retaining walls, all these things, and he's in Miami or Fort Lauderdale.
I was in Florida,
somewhere in
Fort Lauderdale, yeah.
He was getting some award for being awesome,
Rookie of the Year and all that.
Being awesome in this dealership for Bath Planet, which is amazing. And he calls me, he's like, "Hey, there's an opportunity. They need a Bath Planet dealer in the Bay Area. Would you like to do that with me? I want to move home, and I'd like to do this business with you."
Wow.
So I'm like, well, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was the answer. Yeah, fuck yeah. It was like 10 seconds. And I was like, all right, game on.
Fuck yeah.
That was it.
And then from there it was...
Well, it's real simple. So once you're game on, right? Like, it honestly
just go.
This is the thing, and I'm going to say this, right, is...
I love that.
Right, they always say, if you want to take the island, burn the boats, all right? If you want to take the island, burn the bridges, right? Everything. You have to stop what's behind you and only go forwards. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. You have a launching pad. So if you say fuck yes, then you're both feet in, right? That's it. You don't get to dip your toe in the water. Go. Because if you put your energy into one thing, it focuses and it's a spearhead.
Yeah.
And everything else in the universe will move out of your way so that you hit your goal.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Like your energy is a goddamn laser beam with a very, very fine point on the front of it. Mm-hmm. And you only get so much energy in your life, right? You don't see 90-year-old, 95-year-old people starting a brand new company because they don't have the energy. But those 95-year-old people most certainly have enough experience in their life to pass that experience on to the younger folks that have the energy to then go do bigger, better, badder things. That's why you've got your wise old owls and your elephants in the world and the matriarchs and the patriarchs, right? That's why they're there.
Yeah.
Right. So we're in that phase of get shit done.
When he said, let's do this, I said, let's fucking do this. And it was we flexed the go muscle, right?
Yeah.
You just have to flex that go muscle and go. So we like almost instantly, I started to divest from modern paving to back out of that. It was like the same day. I'm moving on. Okay. We secured an office. We need to secure certain software licenses, this, that, and the other within the first like week or two. It was all go up all night, up all day. We were designing logos, designing websites.
Sweat equity. Didn't pull out a business loan. Didn't get a lender in place. Somebody didn't angel investor come in and drop a big.
What's funny though is that people were ready to do that, right?
Pardon my French.
Sweat equity.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck them. So you don't get a piece of like my business and me. No, fuck off.
A lot of people have a hard time building a business from scratch.
And that comes down to systems. And this is where
systems and processes,
yes,
right?
Systems, processes,
which I absolutely love that you guys like implement on a daily basis, and you are constantly communicating with each other. The partnership that you have, I think, is really unique because of your friendship and how deep you've gone into your personal lives. And for those people who are looking to start a business that don't have a partner, I love what you said earlier. It's not how, it's who.
Yeah. Find
somebody that knows what they're doing and then hold on for dear life and learn from them. How was that like first year kicking off this company?
I got something to backtrack on this because this is huge. I was almost 18 years old. I was on Salisbury Plain in England. I was outside Stonehenge and I was in the back of an armored fighting vehicle. And when I say in the back, I was sat with the rest of my team, which was probably about 60 guys roughly. And we're doing a church service parade on a Sunday. And I'll never forget this day. The Padre comes out and he's delivering his sermon. I can't remember anything else of the sermon, right? I can't remember it. But I remember this one key piece. And he comes in and I'll try and put on my best old, because he's probably 150 years old, this poor old codger, right? He's like, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Yeah. And that just resonated with me.
Doesn't it?
Right? And it resonated with me. And it's not about knowing people and stealing from them. It's not about that. It's not about taking their information. It's not about how can I get over on someone. It's
Bring
not about
them value.
Yes, right. It is about, it's not what you know and being the brightest person in the room. It's not what you know and being the badass in front and saying, check me out, check me out. And I don't mean this in a rude way. That's why it's taken me forever to get here, because I love you guys, right? But I'm not here to fucking gob off and like, I'm just is what it is, right? So,
well, this is bringing a lot of value to the audience.
That's truly where it's at.
That's really the
that first year was a lot because you were winding down the East Coast thing, and so Jess, my wife, and I kind of got, because who you knew was very important to how we were going to start our business, because he brought the relationships of the dealerships that he had successfully built already and helped spread that. So it was, and who he knew was me to help do that. So again, he brought relationships, and I was the boots on the ground. In the early days while he was doing his thing, supporting us with the knowledge he had gained.
So you were doing operations while you were doing, like, you're on the front end and you were honestly, on the back end?
We tried to do that, right? But truth be told, it's a commingling of everything. So I would say this, for someone who's going to start a business right from the very start, the first thing you need is to know what's your internal potential. Like, can you actually look in the mirror and say, okay, this is who I am. How many hours in a day can I work? I will tell you right now, Diego, I can do 21 hours a day for about 7 to 9 months straight and legit do that. And I've proven it. So I don't say that as a check me out. I just said it genuinely. I have that energy level inside of me. So you decide what your energy level is inside of you. And then at that stage, you say, well, what can I do? How efficient can I be? All right. So then you say, okay, this is my capacity. This is who I am. This is what I can do. Right. We know that a project manager can max handle about $6 million. Right, max. Okay, ideally we want them at 4 because then they don't burn out on us. So we look at that with all of our people. All right, what can each person handle? When will I need the next one? So you do that internally yourself. And you look in the mirror and say, okay, this is who I am. This is what I can do. Then you say, well, who do I need with me to help me? And then you say, well, who do I know? Right? And that's truly what it was. I was given an offer of like, hey, can you help us build something in California? And I was like, fuck yes, of course I can. I know Steve. That's the first thing that came to mind, right?
It's amazing.
And then I'm like, yo, Steve, have you got the capacity for this? He's like, fuck yes. And I was like, okay, we're all in. Now you've got 2 people all in. And if you're an individual that's all in, that's great. Now you look at the financial flow. What is the business you're looking to do? You can write a business plan that's 200 pages long. or you can just write one concerted, like system filled page and say, okay, what is the business? What am I looking to do? Most importantly, who is my target audience? What is the value I bring to them, right? How do they need to get this value brought in so that they get the best reward? Our company is built on people. It is not built on, I'm going to make a ton of money. It is not built on the bullshit, right? It's literally built on people.
Yeah.
You've got the phrase the best, so go for it.
Well, I mean, we do great work for great people by great people. And that's when we talk about culture, and that's really huge. But going back to, if you're starting a business, for me, I was so eager to jump in because one, I know who you are, and I was like, fuck yeah, I get to do something with that motherfucker. Two, I'm crazy. It was my why, right? I wanted more. I wanted to run my own operation with the people I want to run it in. I want to do something that can scale, that can live on without me. The other
legacy,
exactly. I want to be able to buy my time back in the previous position, and positions. It's like, if I didn't go to work that day, you didn't make any money. I wanted to build something that could support my family, and support all the families of those that work with us. Like, I love being part of something that drives economy and raises the tide for everybody around us. So that's why you try to surround yourself with those people that know more, have done more.
That lights me up.
You know what I mean?
Same vision. Like,
up.
that's the thing. Like, so, and I'll touch on this with Stephen. This is huge, right? There's two main things about why did we start a company, or for me, right? Why did I start a company? Larry Green inspired me. All right, straight up. And I refused to go into a company that would directly affect him, Lane, Bob, Doug, and the rest of the team. Because that, in my opinion, that's just not right. That's just not fair. All right. They've worked their asses off to build this platform, to do great. I see the platform. I'm mentored by the platform. I've copied it. Okay, what space can I go into? But how do I replicate that? Right? Because what do I want? I want two key things. Number one, I want for every single person that comes to the company to be able to be given a space where they can live their lifestyle, right? I want them to turn around and say, I have a great place that I work where I get to build my dream. I dream of owning a home, owning a car, having a 2.4 children, fence, dog, whatever it is, right? It could be, I dream of no kids, but traveling the world. I dream of anything, and this company is a safe environment for me to do that. And the people that own the company, the people that are above me in the company, they're not really above me. They're with me. It is a team, right? We talk about family and hiring family members and stuff. That's great, but because we're results driven, I always look at it as a team. I always look at it as baseball, right?
Like a championship team rather than a family.
Everybody has a role, and everybody has expectations based upon that role. Yeah. And it was Bill Belichick said it best when he coached the Patriots. Right. Do your job. And that's what we expect people to do. It was very simple. He goes, if everyone on this team, if the linebackers, the defensive ends, the tackles, the running backs, everybody, all of them, if every single one of them does their job, they win. And so we've defined these clear roles in these systems that we have. If you're a project manager, here's your expectation, do it. And if you do, we win. Project coordinators, schedule jobs, purchase materials, here's your expectations. We give very clear expectations on the sales team, what their role is on the team. So it's something that is, in the early days of all onboarding, expectations are crystal clear. Yeah. Because sometimes I've gone to jobs, I've held jobs before where expectations weren't very clear. It was, you're going to do this, that, and the other. You're going to try and, sell this data to those people. Do your best. Good luck. But there wasn't very clear expectations. And so setting those early on was very helpful so that people knew their role, so then they can execute that role.
So early on when you guys kicked off, it sounds like it felt like a conduit for value that you wanted to bring into the world.
Yeah.
And a vessel to embark change in the way.
He talks about it as like a school bus.
Yeah, no, for sure. So this would be the second thing then, right? To come back to that and jump on the school bus in a second, right? Is number one, we wanted a platform where people who were in the company felt like they were pillars within the company. They had value within the company. They are driving the company. They are part of a team and they push. But this is the family pieces. We held them. right? We had them close. We're not going to lie, cheat and steal and push things and all of that jazz to make ourselves rich and screw the person underneath. No, this is about you. Because when I first started System Pavers, Bob Cradger said to me, John, I want you to go get Zig Ziglar's Closers disc 1 and disc 2. All right? Because I knew nothing. So I got that. And Zig Ziglar turned around and said, if you help enough other people get what they want, then you will get what you want. And I was like, done. That changed my world. I sold my first deal to Mark Jan Lois, 110 Cora Court, Walnut Creek, bingo. And I will never freaking forget it. All right. Because I helped him get what he wanted. I connected with him, blah, 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 is what it is. But so that then brings you into the second piece of, we've now got a team of people that love who they work with. They love where they're at. They've got a space that they want to grow. Right? Then we have our homeowners, and these people are at the same level. This isn't a 1 and a 2 thing. This is perfectly a symbiotic unit.
Nobody left behind.
Yes, bingo, right? Because that's how I was raised in the Army. You do not leave a man behind. So no homeowner and no team member gets left behind. That's in our core culture, right? So that means that when we go and see a homeowner, they get a value proposition that is real. They actually get to sit there and say, okay, this is my dream. I kind of know it. The team member, the designer goes in and says, well, let me help you enhance that dream. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is how we do it. If we're a good fit, if we're on the same wavelength, if our stars align together, then bingo, let's work, right? And then we go to work. And this is where the front end and the back end really did come in, because the culture that we've built, the back end culture of actually installing the dream happens, right? And I mean, you know that from your business as well. It's like, homeowner has this idea. We got to get that idea crystallized, super crystal clear, get it on paper, show it all. Then we move through the process and we make sure that every step of the way we're good. All right. So now a homeowner has joined a company where their vision becomes a reality. I then have a team member who's joined a company where their vision becomes a reality. Now you have a company.
Amazing.
We do a lot of work as well. It's going back to, if you're going to start a business, what advice, things like that. It's the same thing we tell homeowners too. Success, and just like your construction or remodeling project, we do our absolute best to make it linear from point A to point B. You get there, sell a deal, bathroom's finished, right? Just like starting a company, if you're trying to do that, successful company, it's very rarely linear.
Never happens. Ever.
No, it's all squiggly. Linear. It goes up and down. You're going to discover things. Just like when you start a business, we discovered a lot about communication and how you can never over communicate.
Yeah.
That's a very, very important lesson for us. But it goes like this, and that's how construction is. That's how starting businesses
I think the ultimate goal of entrepreneurship is to find yourself, and learn everything about yourself. Like the ultimate goal is to become your best self, and to do that through entrepreneurship, it's like, what a wonderful vessel, in my opinion.
Well, you've got this thing you coined, give a shit.
Oh, right? Yeah, give a shit leadership. Gas leadership.
So he wrote a book on this, and that's how
published?
No, I didn't publish it yet.
Wall Street bestseller?
It should be, right. It's cool. I got like 12 chapters of cool stuff in there. I should publish it.
You need to publish that damn thing. But
I get it.
That's how, when we recruit people, when we're interviewing people, right, we've decided what our culture is going to be. We celebrate success. We support each other. We try to live those dreams for people and help them get there, right? So we've identified the culture. We recruit to it, and
we train to it. They're the top 3. Culture, recruiting, training, always the top 3. Whenever you want to start a company, you start with the culture. Now the culture piece is huge, because you need to look your ass in the mirror and say, this is the culture I want. So you need to write it down, right? You write your culture down. You say, yeah, I'm going to do this and this, and this is how I want my company to be. You put that fucking thing on the mirror and you look your ass in the mirror.
Every day.
No, you need to do this once. This is a one-time exercise, right? You put that fucking thing on the mirror and you say, and you look in the mirror and you say, am I that culture? Can you tick every fucking box on that culture? And the answer is no. If you come to me and say, oh, I'm absolutely that culture, you maybe got 3 things on there and you need to get your ass back to the drawing board and go write 20 or 30 things on there. Because your culture is not just 1 layer deep, it's like 10 layers deep. All right. Who are you? How do you operate? How do you want to operate? All of those things come in for culture, right? Yeah. And again, that's a whole different freaking podcast. But
well, I mean, it's strong. I mean, the strength in your partnership, your strength of your business, the strength of your culture, it clearly is communicated. Like I've seen it like personally,
because you've known us for
and I've known you guys for a really long time. So you're going down that path, dude. And it's like, okay, 3, 5, 6, 7 years to today, you guys have built nothing from something, or I'm sorry, you guys have built something from nothing, gone from $0 to multi-million-dollar company. Amazing. But then all of a sudden you've changed your business name and you're changing your logo, and
that was a big deal.
That's a huge deal in the grand scheme of things for a company story.
Yeah.
Well, you can only do that kind of thing, first off, if everybody around you gives a shit. Like going back to that piece, when you identify their give a shit meter, right? We talk about it all the time, like how high are they on the meter?
Yep.
Like their give a shit level is low or their engine is low. I look for high engine people.
The rebranding is a big deal.
Rebranding is a massive deal.
So when you guys decided to rebrand after just going hard with your formerly known company, NorCal Remodeling Group, like that must have shook some serious trees. Can you tell us about that?
Because Steve can touch on the rebranding fully because he's got the deal. But what really happened was there comes a time in your life, and it happens where your relationship, you push through. Okay. Right. So we began as NorCal Remodeling Group. Great. Loved it. But we started to hit this ceiling. We started to hit this envelope. Right. And we needed to push through. And so for me and Steve, we said, okay, we have got people coming to us now saying, can you please take over LA? Can you please work on Southern California for us? Are you ever going to branch out? Are you going to go to Arizona, Utah? Are you going to go north? I'm like, no, we're NorCal Remodeling Group. Let's just, and it wasn't as a shrinking thing. It was just a hang five because I needed to check with this guy, right? And so that was the piece of it. It's like, I came to Steve and it was last June-ish. And I was like, yo, dude, listen.
All these opportunities we had created by building where we got to, and then as John's about to tell you, doors started just opening, and they're like, you need to come here now because what you're doing up there, I need you to replicate that in my territory.
So what ends up happening is Home Depot had come to us, and they said, hey, what if you've got 30...
Who's a big partner, by the way.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the Home Depot relationship is huge.
Home Depot is huge.
We're their exclusive bath remodeling services provider. So you can go into any Home Depot in our territories and you say, I want a bath remodel. They're going to say, cool, call True North.
Right now we have 38 stores in Northern California. And when I say Northern California, I do mean the San Francisco Bay Area. If you go from basically Monterey all up to San Francisco, Santa Rosa, all of that way into Ukiah, technically. We got one up in Ukiah, which is an outlier. And then you go from San Francisco all the way across to Antioch, 38 stores, 8 million people in the Bay Area.
That's your territory.
That's our territory for that.
That's the Northern Territory.
And then what happened was back in June, as I say, roughly of last year, Omar, a super cool dude from down south, came to us and he was like, hey, dude, we've seen what you've done. You've gone from $1 million in revenue 3 years ago with the Home Depot relationship to $5.3 million this year. Like, how do I get a piece of that? And I started laughing. I was like, no, dude, I am not coming down to LA.
Hang five.
And then he was just like, and then what happened was the Bath Planet relationship was like, hey, we could really do with some help. Are you expanding? And I was like, you know what?
It all happened like at once. And he comes at me like, we're going to LA. You cool? I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go.
And so then Steve, and I'll let you take the reins on this one because he's Mr. Marketer, right? He knows marketing. He's got his gig dialed in. To me, I don't, right? But so he just jumped straight in and was just like, okay, we need to rebrand. And we came up with so many names.
We came up with a lot of names. So when you're going to change a company's name, you have to change the brand. We couldn't be NorCal Remodeling Group in Southern California. That just wouldn't work, right? So we went through a lot of iterations of what got us here, what brought us to the success we are today. So we wanted our name to reflect our current success and how that happened. And we also wanted the name and the brand to be an unchanging, unbreakable sort of code.
Who are we? That's really what it was.
We had all these sessions. We brought the whole team in.
Another look in the mirror.
This was a big look in the mirror.
And not only a look in the mirror, but this guy came to the table with paperwork. And I mean, he's like, yo, I got this Google Doc. I got that Google Doc. I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me. And I'm not joking. We went through hours of like, okay, who are we? How do we operate? Why are we here? What do we do? All of the who, what, where, when, why questions, right? And then you ask them again on the answers that you've got. And then you go ask other people, are we telling the truth? Is this who we are?
Yeah.
So you did a big internal check-in with your company outside of just between the two of you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was a whole rebranding exercise, and it really was, who are we? And is that true? And it was very important because rebranding is almost like rebuilding.
It's a rebirth.
It is.
It's a rebirth. We're the same system, same skeleton, but now we have to decide a whole new outfit, a whole new skin. We're changing everything. that's customer facing.
Yeah.
And the brand itself also helps internal employee facing. Because if we ever have a question, True North to us stands for always doing the right thing, stands for always being there and always being a guide for our customers and team members to know that we are going in the same direction together. There's only one True North.
Who came up with True North?
Oh, that's a great question.
Was it?
I'll say Steve. There you go. I'll say Steve.
Group session. I can see that come up in a group session.
I suggested it, but then we tested it. We ran it through all the filters, all the people. What's this mean to you? And some people they were confused. Like I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So if I may, right, one of the key defining moments was like military guy, a magnet, a compass. Like I know seafaring stuff as well, right? So I'm all about the compass side of things, right? Because yes, you sit on a bearing, you stay on a bearing. You can have all of the world of shit around you. But if you have one focus as a team, like me and Steve are in a relationship and our end goal is to hit that point, right? So bingo. So that's what we're going to go do. For example, our end goal is to expand into Southern California, make it a raging success. We're in that journey right now. We have a compass, right? But you have individual compass error. Now, that's what I was raised and trained on, and I've taught people this in the military, right? You will have an individual compass error, which will send you off course. Homeowners naturally have that. It happens, right? So we need to find their true north, and then we need to hold them to their true north. And that's why true north is so important, because it is one course that never changes. It is the homeowner is the course. The homeowner is the compass. We are just a facilitator of their dreams, right? Their opportunity to say, this is the right company, which we've partnered with, bingo. And then our design team members and our construction team members, everyone within the company is like, well, these are the rules that we live by. These are the core relationship pieces that we have in place where we know this is how we behave, right? And I'll tell you a simple one. Steve and I, if I'm front-end sales and Steve's back-end construction, you will never in your life hear me say to a homeowner, I'm so sorry Steve fucked that up. Let me fix that for you. Like, I'm so sorry that he's an asshole. Absolutely not. And you will never hear this guy come back to our homeowner and be like, oh, I'm so sorry that your sales rep sold you something that we just can't do. He's an idiot. No, that's called burning a bridge. What it is the other way, is that I have Steve's back and Steve has my back, always. That never fails. And we have bred that through the entire construction team, through the entire sales team, and all of the supporting staff, all right? You are never allowed to say a bad word about someone else in my company. I've had 3 people do it, and guess where they are? Not in my company. Yeah, and they were solid sales reps. Get out. Not interested.
What were some of the biggest lessons that you two have learned in your business relationship outside of the personal stuff, like building this company? What are some of the biggest lessons that have like front and center?
Real easy for me. I mean, it was a hard lesson to learn was I need to be able to work on the business and not in the business. For so long, for so many years, I was so caught up in the trenches, in the day to day. Because for one, in the early days, I had to. We didn't have enough personnel or staff. We wore a lot of hats. That's normal.
You do it until you can buy back your time.
Exactly. And I was holding on too tight to certain people for too long. And that was a lesson that I learned, and I'll never forget, that I need to enable people.
Got to let them fail, brother.
Exactly. And that was something obviously John pushed on to me. Enable your people,
Empower them.
Empower your people. Give them all the tools they need, but let them go do their thing. And so when certain people come at us, they're like, I want a big raise, or I have to go. Like, well, okay, either you are worth it and we can do it, or you're not and we won't. And it's not this emotional connection of, I need to be in the business. So now I can elevate myself, look down from a higher vantage point. I was at 0 elevation for years. Now, you go to 5, 10, 15, 20, so that we can see the battlefield better. Right. So you can make better decisions on strategy and not, okay, where are we going to buy this box of nails today? Like that kind of stuff.
That's a $15 task that you should not be doing. What about you?
Right. So this is cool. Right. So I've got to develop on this for Steve, because I watched him go through this. Right. And I was very grateful and fortunate enough. So when I was in the military, raised as a commander, right, you get put through several different battle lessons. Again, another freaking story. Right. But one of them is basically a super stressful commander's test. And so you're always trained that you're in a trench, all right, and you're about to go attack a position. And with that, you have 8 guys on your team, okay? You're going to put some flankers out. You can do all these different things. But what you have to do is you have to have a condor moment. And your condor moment is when you actually get out of the trench and you wiggle your ass backwards and you're under fire and everything else, and you look and you're like, okay, left is that way, center is that way, right is that way. I got these two guys, I got my, marksman, whatever it is that I've got, right, in my team. These are the people I have. This is the route I think I want to go. No plan ever survives contact. We're going to go left on this one. And I'm going to then crawl back forwards. I'm going to brief my team and I have my lance call with them and say, okay, we're going to go hard left on this one, brother. You got this. This is how we're going to do it. Boom.
But you had to get out of the trench to see that.
What I did was I empowered my team. All right. I gave them the opportunity after having a condor moment to say, okay, this is the route we're going to go. I let them go. Yes, I'm with them. Yes, I follow them. Yes, I'm inspecting what I expect. I'm doing all of those things, but you have got to let them fail. You have got to give them the opportunity, because if you give people the opportunity to potentially fail, you also give them the exact same opportunity to succeed. And you just don't know how well they'll succeed. You know how badly they can fail because you're not stupid. But if you focus on the failures, you're destined to fail, or you're destined to do it all yourself and die. And most people in a business refuse to let go, and they become control freaks, and they can't help it. Why? Because it's their baby, because they grew it from 0 to 1 million. And that means a lot. They don't want it to fail. But if, like with my children, I have 2 beautiful daughters, right? When Isabella did gymnastics, started her stuff and she didn't start 6 months ago, but about 6 months ago, she came to me and she was just like, she was getting ready to go do her first competition piece, right? And I'll be honest with you, she crashed and burned on it. All right. She had the mats at home. She had the long beam at home and that sort of stuff. And she'll kill me for this being on camera. Sorry, babe. Right. But she crashed and burned, and she couldn't do a certain move that she needed to do. And her coach was like, hey, you can't do the move. It's not going to come into the competition. You can't do it on this one. And she was in tears because she'd failed, but she had to fail. Do you know what she just did on Saturday? She went to the states competition and she fucking crushed it. And I could not be prouder of her.
Amazing.
It took a few extra months of her training. Like, I got goosebumps right now, right?
Way to go, Isabella.
Yeah,
Uncle
exactly.
Steve's proud of you.
Yeah, there you go, right? I love that kid with all my heart. She's such a good human. She's a great leader. She's got all of the right things going. She's going to be a fantastic addition to the world, right? But with that, you've got to let them fail. Yeah. If you don't let them fail and you hold them too tight, then you get stressed. Now, the other side of that is also, not the other side, but another piece of that is, and Lane taught me this. So I knew in military world how to behave, but I didn't know how in civilian world to behave. And this is why Lane is a legend, because he brought me in, sat me down in his office, because I was regional sales manager and I was running around like a lunatic. And he was just like, dude, you need to calm your ass down.
He's an HR nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
It's all like English thing in America. You can get away with anything.
Sure. So you had some lessons for sure then.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But so what happens is Lane brings me and he sits me down and he says, John, I need you to understand that your job is that you're a chief firefighter. And I was like, yes, I've got to get in and fight the fire. I was like, no. He's like, listen, here's what it is. I want you to draw a circle. And this is what he did. He drew a circle on a piece of paper. And then he drew another little circle. And he wrote my name in it. And he said, this is what you do. Right? You've got all these other people outside the circle too. You've got this big ass fire. You go see the other people, you send them in. If you need to dive in, you dive in and you jump back out. He's like, but you never ever stay in the circle. He's like, if you stay in that circle, you burn to the ground. So you jump in, you jump out. You jump in, you jump out. You task the people to jump in. And he said, you close the fire down and then you're extinguished. And now you can continue on to your task. And so this guy, I watched him real live time learn this. And I was pumped because
I was burning myself down. Dude, I was in the fire. I was in the center of the fire for years. Yeah. For absolute years.
I mean, I'll never forget, we had a conversation in the parking lot outside the office. I was like, dude. Yeah. Mate, dude. Right.
I'm like, this isn't working. Like, I can't do this. Yeah. This isn't working.
He was probably maxing out around the 6 million marker, right? Like, he was literally handling $6 million worth of stuff. I'm like, mate, pump the goddamn brakes. Give it to your team member. Let it go. And he did. And I give him his due for that. Like, what a legend. Let it go. And
that's what allowed me to do other things. Instead of fighting fires, I can now work on the brand, the culture, the systems. What softwares should we optimize? Yeah. You know, where should we advertise more? Yeah, how do we build these reward systems and competitions within the teams and with our installers? And how can we build competitions that help drive culture? And it's more that fun stuff. Yeah, you know, that's so much more fun for me than gripping.
I learned that too. The replacement ladder. When to replace yourself at which rung of that ladder, starting with administrative. And then you go into execution, and then you go into marketing and sales, and then you go into the next one, you know, and then all of a sudden you're at leadership. To build a business is really hard from scratch. A lot of people they just want to buy a business and systems are already in place and things are already working and I can just slide right in. But like you guys have the grit and the mentality and the mindset to go into that trench and make it happen.
Because it's fun.
You know,
we enjoy that.
Not everybody thinks it's fun though, which is really interesting.
But that's
you know,
like
that's what makes you guys so unique, I think, is because you do see that chaos as somewhere where there's peace. And that to me, it like will separate you from everybody else, because everybody else is like, I want to move away from the storm, but you're the buffalo going right at it, you know? And I love that about you.
I love the culture we've built at True North Kitchen and Bath. It's unbelievable. We get to change people's lives internally, externally. Yeah. We're next to family, your home is your largest asset in most cases. Right. And we're honored that we see it as a privilege that you're allowing us, basically a bunch of new people you just met, to come into your house, swing hammers around, cause a bunch of stress. But ultimately, you trust us to guide you, Sherpa you through that journey so that your dream does become a reality. And that's awesome. And we're building that and expanding that and scaling that. It's such a fun place to be.
Mm-hmm. No, it's really super cool, dude.
Really cool.
There's, for me, like we've got so many clients, right? But one of my favorite clients, and I won't use names on it just in case, right? But gentleman down in San Jose, his dad fell out of a bathtub. Right, fell out of the tub, cracked his head through the door, and was out cold. All right, his son phones us up. It's like, hey, I need a bathroom like now. Like my dad just fell out of the tub. He's in hospital. I need him back when he gets back in about 6 weeks' time out of rehab. Like, and his dad, I think, was about 80. Yeah, right, maybe 85.
He needed a shower because it was too dangerous to get over the tub.
Yeah, right. So he needed a new shower, like ADA accessible, all that jazz. Right. So at the time, I forget who was meant to go on the appointment, but someone called in sick, basically. I was like, done, I'm on it, let's go. And I went down to San Jose and I was like, hey, this is who we are, this is what we do, this is how we do it. And he trusted us, right there and then. And it ends up that his dad comes back home and I meet his dad. And his dad is in freaking tears because he opens the door to his bathroom. And again, I got freaking goosebumps right now, right? Because this is how much it's meant to me the whole way through. His dad was in tears. He came in, he gave me a big ass hug. And I'm going to tell you right now, his dad looks not a day older than you. This guy is in the prime of his life, at like 80 years old. I'm like, I turned to him and I was like, how the hell are you? Like, how? And he's just like,
what's their secret?
Yeah, what's your secret, right? And all of that. And that's, again, we can go down that road another day. But like, he was so grateful. He was so happy. Like, so what we do is we literally change lives, right? And we change lives because of the people that work with us. No one works for us. That's a culture piece right there. People work with us. And that's where the family piece comes along. But the team, we build a team because we come from an actions and a results basis, right? And then on top of that, our homeowners physically get a tangible product. And that's why I fell in love with this stuff. So people say, like, you go to work, fall in love with your work, stuff like that. I don't go to work on a daily basis. This is my life. And I love my life. Lifestyle. Right? Yeah, it's a lifestyle where, you know, and the lifestyle was freaking hard at the beginning. Like, we worked legit probably 20 hours a day. Like, for the first year at least. At least 20 hours a day. We didn't take a vacation. Like, we didn't take time off and all that sort of jazz. No, we just busted our freaking asses off. You know, and it was good because, and I'll never forget some of the phone calls that me and this guy have had. We would finish a hard day, like a hard day, dude.
That's some hard days.
And so an easy example of a hard day is I was on trash cleanup, right? So I'm picking up the rubbish at the job sites that day, right? And there's me, there's Jess, and there's my daughter Isabella in the truck, right? And so, and we got a photo of this, and I love this photo, right? And dude, it was like 4:50 or something in the afternoon, and we're just pulling into the weigh station to get like offload everything, and we're like, please be open, come on, right? Because
was that in Oakland?
Yeah, it was the one. It's Hesperian Boulevard. It was down like.
Oh, that's San Jose.
Yeah, no. It was in Oakland, but it was I can't. It's like San Leandro, Hayward. It's in the middle of the two. It's like, right. So it ends up that we pull into this place, we completely unload, and we get Jess home, and I'm going home, and it's stupid o'clock. And I'm on the phone with him, and he's just like, yo, brother. He lists like 20 things that he got done that day. I was like, yo, dude, when I got this done. And he was just like, man, that was a good day. I was like, dude, that was a hard day. But yeah, like, we still have another 50 things to do, like straight up. Because that's really what the phone call was. It was like, hey, listen, man, I know we got another 50 things to do, but let's not focus on that sack of shit that we have to get handled right there. Let's focus on the fact right now, we just did doom, and all of these things. And he's just like, well done, brother. Let's add it again tomorrow. And that was our culture. That was our relationship.
Amazing.
It was a big piece, man. Early days too, when we had storage units instead of an actual warehouse, and these like 50-foot semi trucks are backing stuff up without lift gates, and we got like 3 furniture dollies trying to wheel out these 4,000 pound.
I thought you were going to
pallets.
die on one of them. I was like,
it's windy. These acrylic panels are flying around in the wind, but we've grown through what you grow through what you go through.
Yeah.
Right. And I love that you grow through what you go through, and we have gone through a lot.
So here we are, like 8 years in?
Yeah, something like that. So
as you grow, because I think your greatest strength is your Achilles heel as you grow.
Yeah, sure.
Where are you guys going now? What's the future look like?
Well, I mean, look, the end goal is to be $100 million company. Why not? It's a nice number, right? And it's not about the end goal. I think that's the piece for me is like this is a relationship. So, it's a marriage, right? So the way that I see it is it's about the journey. Right? Yes, you have a goal, but you don't just focus on the goal. You enjoy the journey through it, right? And that's the piece of it. So really, where are we going now? We're going to continue on a journey as True North Kitchen and Bath, and we're going to make sure we make as many homeowners happy as possible, right? We're going to make sure we have as many team members that live the lifestyle they want to live as possible, and we'll continue to grow that.
I mean, our name says it all. I mean, where we go next is we stay the course, right? We stay the course.
True North.
We've now set new. We've expanded our boundaries and territories. Rinse and repeat. We've now have the systems in place. We now have a lot of that experience of what we've grown through. Keep
just
going.
Penetrate the market now, like, and I say penetrate the market in the nicest, softest terms.
Strategic.
Right? Yeah, it's just a case of let's go see how many people can we make happy this year.
Yep.
Let's get better at it.
Yeah.
Right? We have the Kaizen mentality every day and every way get a little bit better.
I love that.
Let's see how can we communicate better this week?
Yep. That's something that I've learned a lot from you guys and in this show, particularly what were some of the biggest lessons, communication being one of them. Like you guys communicate all the time.
Know your numbers is going to be a big lesson.
And I think that's probably a big reason why you've been so successful. Just the constant communication between the two. And for folks out there who are wanting to do what you're doing, you got to be able to pick up the phone, communicate. And don't be shy.
We'll put it easy, right? My phone number and his phone number is on every single contract that goes to a homeowner. I don't know how many thousands of people that is, but it's plenty. And that means that if someone calls me from whatever number, I'm going to pick up the phone. You got to pick it up. Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right?
We share our personal cell phone. It's like the same number our family members call us on. Every single homeowner that works.
I only have one phone.
Yeah.
This is the only phone I've got. There's no two. It's not a Google number. It's like my actual Verizon phone number that every homeowner gets.
Yeah.
But so like, here's an easy example is this past weekend, I get a phone call from a design team member down south. And she was with a homeowner, and that homeowner turned around, and it was a congratulations call, right? Because we try and talk to as many as we can.
I know Kayla's called me like 3 times already.
Yeah. Right. But so I get that phone call, and the gentleman on the other end of the phone, again, I won't use their names just in case, right? But Don. So
shouldn't laugh.
All right. So it ends up that she's at this appointment and she calls me and says, "Hey John, can you do a congratulations call?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, go for it. Who am I talking to? What's going on?" And she says, "Well, we've got these clients here and they're going to do this and I love them and this and this and this and that." She goes through it real fast and I'm just like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And
we do a welcome call. Every sale, the homeowner gets to speak to one of us to say, "Congrats, welcome to the team."
Yeah. And if, heaven forbid, you can't get hold of us because let's say we're doing something like this or whatever, right? Then you get our voicemail, but they'll go straight to a sales manager. So that at least we've got the next person in the tree down as an elevated person to say, "Hey, we just want to say thank you. Yep. We want to recognize you for who you are, the trust you're putting in us, and where we go from here." All right. And also you can get hold of the owners at any stage, right? So this call comes in and the gentleman on the other end of the phone turns around to me and he's just like, "I just need to stop you right here. I need to tell you right now that it is so nice. It is so refreshing that the CEO of the company has taken his time out to speak to me. You have 70 Home Depot stores that you operate with.
That's huge.
You have a ton of things that you do on a daily basis. And I used to be a contractor and I used to do the work that you do. and I'm not going to do this bathroom on my own, even though I could. But I'm going to have you guys do it. And the fact you've taken the time out of your day to say thank you and to work with us is like, I'm yours for life.
What a touch.
It's important. It's important that
that's communication.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
And that comes down to give a shit, right?
Yep.
Like I refuse for anyone to come to me and be like, I'm pissed, I'm upset, this and this and that. Okay, let's figure it out. Like, we're humans, right?
Yep.
Some people are going to get up out of the bed on the wrong side. That's okay. Let's just put you on the right side of things.
Everybody on our team knows as well that our customers are the boss, right? That although John and I sign the checks, you don't work for me. You don't work for John. Nope. We work for the homeowner. We work for the person who pays the bills. They're the boss. And we do everything we absolutely can to impress them so we can keep our job. Do it again.
Dude, this has been amazing. Learning everything about you guys' relationship and your business and everything. Do you want to add anything else?
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There's loads. I mean, look, there's loads, right? There's tons of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
We can go forever.
Yeah.
We could spaghetti sesh forever.
Whatever you want.
You guys, True North Kitchen and Bath, Jonathan Moore, Stephen Molof, you got to check them out. They're doing some high level work, and their culture for their company, bar none, probably some of the best in the Bay Area. True North Kitchen and Bath, where can they find you? How?
Real simple. On socials, True North Kitchen and Bath, Facebook, Instagram, truenorthkb.com. It's our website. We're easy to find.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
Rock and roll.